today, what we're gonna be talking about is leasing, going over leases specifically. So the reason I kind of chose this topic, a lot of you that follow me on Instagram or different social media platforms may or may not know that I've had to close one of my Daiquiri shop locations recently, specifically the one on 1960 and 45. The reason I had to close that center is because the landlord put a paragraph in the lease, and it'll be, Mateo will make it pop up on the screen, it'll be cool, y'all can read what it says. Pretty much says something to the effect that if they tear down more than 5,000 square feet of the center, then they can give me 180 days to vacate the premises. That means they don't have to pay me any of my build out dollars that I spent, because that particular location I spent, north of 150 grand. They don't have to pay me any of that back. They don't have to buy me out the rest of my lease. I kind of just got fucked, to be honest with you. So this portion, I kind of want to talk to you guys about leasing, reading through leases and fully kind of really understanding them. This was my second Daiquiri shop and actually my most profitable one to date, which was the one on 1960 and 45, the one that's actually closed now. So, when you get your leases, one, you want to use a real estate agent. In this particular case, I did not use a real estate agent at all. I did it myself. I thought I negotiated a pretty good deal at the time. I've learned so much about leasing over the course of me doing business. I've learned about everything from TI, which is tenant improvement allowance. They call it TIA. So tenant improvement allowance. I've learned about abated rent, 3 months rent, about the commencement date of leases to be pushed forward. All of these things are important when negotiating a lease. Me typically when I go into a lease at this level that I'm at, I immediately walk in and I ask for TIA. Even if it's a second generation restaurant, I immediately come in and say, hey look, I need tenant improvement dollars so that I can upgrade whatever you had there previously. I always, when I negotiate, I ask for the house off the rip. That's one of the first things that I ask for. I ask for, I might come out the gate and say, hey, look, I need $40 tenant improvement. That doesn't mean they're gonna give it to you, but shit, it doesn't hurt to ask. I also ask for typically 6 months, 180 days abated rent. Abated rents are basically give you time to complete your build out. Again, this is not saying that the landlord is gonna give you this, but shit, again, it doesn't hurt to ask. So like I said, my thing is when I start, I ask for the house. I'm gonna ask for as much as I possibly can ask for. Whatever I can, I'm gonna ask for it. I also ask for 3 months rent. 3 months rent is something that starts after you open for business. So I also come back door and ask for 90 to 120 days of free rent, which is 3 to 4 months. Again, not saying that you're gonna get it, but it can't hurt. So I try to ask for as much as I can up front, and I like to land somewhere in the middle of that. So if I get $25 tenant improvement allowance, when I say $25, it's $25 per square foot. So assuming that you lease a 2,000 square foot space, that's giving you 50 grand for build out dollars for flooring, vent hood, equipment, whatever you need, paint, wood, whatever you're doing. Again, that's what the tenant allowance is for. The tenant improvement allowance, TIA or tenant improvement. I mean, it's called so many different things. I just say TI for tenant improvement. That gives you a lot of money for you to get started on your project without having to come out of so much money. Actually, the thing about tenant improvement dollars, they don't give it to you until you get your certificate of occupancy. They ask for you to send that certificate of occupancy to the landlord, and then they cut you a check right after. You should get it pretty quickly, depending on your landlord. If you're dealing with a good landlord, good center, they'll cut you a check within the week, so you'll get your money back right away. So that's money that goes back in your pocket at the end of build out, and that's important. The reason you want to ask for abated rents is, again, to give yourself time to develop your business, to build your business. It takes time to get permits, to get plans. Plans are number one. You got to get plans, that takes time. You got to get permits, that takes time. Any of y'all that live in the city of Houston, if you've ever dealt with business, dealt with the city of Houston, they're slow as shit. They're the slowest people on the planet Earth. They move slower than a slug. They're like slow, super slow. So they take a long time to get back to you. they take, you submit the plans, it takes them 30 days just to give you a response. So you might be going back and forth with the city over plans, anywhere from 60 to 90 days before you could even actually break ground on your project. Me personally, after I get the first set of comments back and I kind of get an idea of what the city is looking for, I immediately go into working right then and there. I don't recommend that you do that. Again, I'm not gonna tell anyone to do anything incorrectly. So you're supposed to wait until you have an active permit to work on a job site. Me personally, as soon as I get those first set of comments back and I know what's going on, they kind of gave me an outline of what they're looking for, and I know I may go ahead and start doing a little plumbing, a little shell work, get my framing up. I won't do anything past that because they have to inspect your frames, they have to inspect your plumbing before you can cover it up. They have to inspect your shell before you close it with sheetrock, or your framework before you close it with sheetrock. So you want to ask for that abated rents. Remember to ask for abated rent, that's very important. Then you want to ask for free rent. The reason I ask for free rent is because you want to give your business some time to accumulate a customer base. Let the neighborhood, let the community know, hey, we're in this location, we're located here. You don't want to come out, having to pay rents on your first day of being open and you don't really have a customer base. You want a chance to try to build that customer base up. So you want to ask for free rent as well. So remember those three things whenever you're negotiating a lease. Ask for TIA, you want to ask for abated rents, then you want to ask for free rent. And free rent again is after you get your certificate of occupancy and you open.